Donal by John Keegan Casey. From the Book of Irish Poetry, Part 1. Come, piper, play the shaftscan reel, or else the lasses on the heather, and Mary, lay aside your wheel, until we dance once more together at fair and pattern oft before. Of reels and jigs we've tripped full many, but ne'er again this loved old floor will feel the foot of Donal. Softly she rose and took his hand, and softly glided through the measure, while, clustering round, the village band looked half in sorrow, half in pleasure. Warm blessings flowed from every lip, as ceased the dance's airy motion. O blessed Virgin, guide the ship which bears bold Donal o'er the ocean. Now God be with you all, he sighed, adown his face the bright tears flowing. God guard you well, avick, they cried, upon the strange path you are going. So full his breast he scarce could speak, with burning grasp the stretched hands taking. He pressed a kiss on every cheek, and sobbed as if his heart was breaking. Boys, don't forget me when I'm gone, for sake of all that days passed over, the days you spent on heath and bourne, with Donal, Rhoda, the rattling rover. Mary, Agra, your soft brown eye has willed my fate, he whispered lowly, another holds thy heart good-bye. Heaven grant you both its blessings holy, a kiss upon her brow of snow, a rush across the moonlit meadow, whose broom-clad hazels, trembling slow, the mossy boreen wrapped in shadow, away o'er Tully's bounding rill, and far beyond the Inny river, one cheer on Carrick's rocky hill, and Donal gone forever. End of Donal The Drynan Dhun by Robert Dwyer Joyce. From the Book of Irish Poetry, Part 1. By road and by river the wild birds sing, o'er mountain and valley the dewy leaves spring, the gay flowers are shining, gilt o'er by the sun, and fairest of all shines the Drynan Dhun. The wrath of the fairy, the ruin hoar, with white silver splendour it decks them all o'er, and down in the valleys where merry streams run, how sweet smell the blossoms of the Drynan Dhun. Ah, well I remember the soft spring day I sat by my love 'neath its sweet scented spray, the day that she told me her heart I had won, beneath the white blossoms of the Drynan Dhun. The streams they were singing their gladsome song, the soft winds were blowing the wildwoods among, the mountains shone bright in the red setting sun, as we sat 'neath the blossoms of the Drynan Dhun. 'Tis my prayer in the morning, my dream at night, to sit thus again by my heart's dear delight, with her blue eyes of gladness, her hair like the sun, and her bright pleasant smile 'neath the Drynan Dhun. End of the Drynan Dhun. Wild Geese by Rosa Mulholland. From the Book of Irish Poetry, Part 1. I had to sail across the sea, a brave white bird went forth from me, my heart was hid beneath his wing. O strong white bird, come back in spring! I watched the wild geese rise and cry across the flaming western sky, their winnowing pinions clove the light, then vanished, and came down the night. I laid me low, my day was done, I longed not for the morrow's sun, but closely swathed in swoon of sleep, forgot to hope, forgot to weep. The moon, through veils of gloomy red, a warm yet dusky radiance shed all down our valley's golden stream, and flushed my slumber with a dream. Her mystic torch lit up my brain, my spirit rose and lived again, and followed through the windy spray that bird upon its watery way. O wild white bird, O wail for me! My soul hath wings to fly with thee on foam waves lengthening out afar, We'll ride toward the western star, o'er glimmering plains, through forest gloam. To track a wanderer's feet I come, mid lonely swamp, by haunted brake. I'll pass unfrightened for his sake. Alone, afar his footsteps roam. The star's his roof, the tent his home. Sawest thou what way the wild geese flew to sunward through the thick night dew? Carry my soul where he abides, and pierce the mystery that hides his presence, and through time and space look with mine eyes upon his face. Beside his prairie fire he rests, all feathered things are in their nests. What strange wild bird is this, he saith, still fragrant with the ocean's breath? Perch on my hand, thou briny thing, and let me stroke thy shy wet wing. What message in thy soft eye thrills? I see again my native hills, and vale, and river's silver streak, the mist upon the blue, blue peak, the shadows grey, the golden sheaves, the mossy walls, the russet eaves. I greet the friends I've loved and lost. Do all forget? No tempest tossed, that braved for me the ocean's foam. Some heart remembers me at home. Ere spring's return, I will be there, thou strange sea fragrant messenger. I wake and weep, the moon shines sweet. O dream too short, O bird too fleet! End of the Wild Geese.
Outside by Francis Wynne from the Book of Irish Poetry, Part 1. Outside, a shining pathway of light slopes down from the half-closed door. Through the darkness on either hand it glimmers, golden and wide, a fair bridge spanning the night, and the dread desolation o'er, stretching to me where I stand forgotten, forlorn, outside. If I dared to turn my feet away from the chill and the gloom, if I followed yon radiant track with eager and noiseless tread, should I find her, my only sweet, in some fragrant, fire-lit room, her soft dress shadowy black, and the glow on her bent bright head? Perhaps if I only dread, she would not bid me begone. Perhaps she would smile as of yore, and be kind and forget to chide. Perhaps if she knew how I cared, I will go, I will seek her anon. Alas, they have shut the door, and I am alone outside. Francis Wynne. End of Outside.
To an Isle in the Water by William Butler Yeats. From the Book of Irish Poetry, Part 1. Shy one, shy one, shy one of my heart, she moves in the firelight, pensively apart. She carries in the dishes, and lays them in a row. To an isle in the water, with her I would go. She carries in the candles, and lights the curtained room, shy in the doorway, and shy in the gloom, and shy as a rabbit, helpful and shy. To an isle in the water, with her would I fly. End of To an Isle in the Water.
An old song resung by William Butler Yeats from the Book of Irish Poetry, Part 1. An old song resung. Down by the Sally Gardens my love and I did meet. She passed the Sally Gardens with little snow white feet. She bid me take love easy as the leaves grow on the tree. But I, being young and foolish, with her would not agree. In a field by the river my love and I did stand, and on my leaning shoulder she laid her snow white hand. She bid me take life easy as the grass grows on the weirs. But I was young and foolish, and now am full of tears. End of an old song resung by William Butler Yeats.
Killary by Herbert Trench. From the Book of Irish Poetry, Part 1. When all her brothers in the house were lying asleep, My love ran before me under the bend of boughs, till we looked down from above on the long loch, on the Brovin loch, on the lone loch of Killary. Together we ran down the copse and stood in the rain, as close as the birds that sleep in the soft tops of the tree that comes and goes when the young moon and the morn moon is on Killary. In tremblings of the water, chill swans we saw preen their coat, biting their plumes, with stooped bill and quivering neck, afloat on the brown shade, on the deep shade, the shade of hills on Killary. Why pale, my beloved, now, with the first light 'gins to beat? No sun of autumn is rich as thou, and honey after thy feet shall rise from the grass, from the wet of the grass, the brow of the grass over Killary. My grief it is only that thou and I must part like swans of the flood that rise up sorrowful into the sky. For one goes over the wood, and one over sea from Killary. P. Ah, the little raindrops that hang on the bough, together they may run, but never again shall I and thou meet here in the morning sun. We shall meet no more, we must kiss no more, we shall meet no more by Killary. End of Killary.
The Wood Pigeon by Tynan. From the Book of Irish Poetry, Part 1. The Wood Pigeon. The skies were laden, the snowflakes were falling, no blackbird or linnet was courting or calling, but the wood dove's sweet moaning was heard in the distance, and her song all of love came in dulcet persistence. Oh, what though the nests were all flooded with water, and the cold eggs would give them no sweet son or daughter, she was dreamy with pleasure for her true love beside her, and her day was as gold as though young leaves did hide her. O love, sang the wood dove, the sweet bird of summer, it were death, it were madness, were my love a roamer. But love, true and faithful, what power has cold weather to still our wild songs, love, since we are together? Then I said to my true love is enough, love, and how wise is the wood dove who learns that lore off, love. This our charm for the winter, and when the winds cry, love, and when in the grave on your heart I still lie, love. End of The Wood Pigeon by Tynan. Forgiveness by A. E. From the Book of Irish Poetry, Part 1. Forgiveness. At dusk the window panes grew gray, the wet world vanished in the gloom, the dim and silver end of day scarce glimmered through the little room. And all my sins were told. I said such things to her who knew not sin, the sharp ache throbbing in my head, the fever running high within. I touched with pain her purity, sin's darker sense I could not bring. My soul was black as night to me, to her I was a wounded thing. I needed love no words could say. She drew me softly nigh her chair, my head upon her knees to lay, with cool hands that caressed my hair. She sat with hands as if to bless, and looked with grave ethereal eyes, ensouled with ancient quietness, a gentle priestess of the wise. End of Forgiveness by A. E. Song by Arthur O'Shaughnessy. From the Book of Irish Poetry, Volume 1. I made another garden, yea, for my new love. I left the dead rose where it lay, and set the new above. Why did the summer not begin? Why did my heart not haste? My old love came and walked therein, and laid the garden waste. She entered with her weary smile, just as of old. She looked around a little while, and shivered at the cold. Her passing touch was death to all, her passing look a blight. She made the white rose petals fall, and turned the red rose white. Her pale robe, clinging to the grass, seemed like a snake that bit the grass and ground, alas, and a sad trail did make. She went up slowly to the gate, and there, just as of yore, she turned back at the last to wait, and say farewell once more. End of poem.